Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Today's topic is the unprecedented news of the IRS release of, we hear, 6,700 agents. The majority, more than half of those, are reportedly in the area that were used to work in resolving small business tax matters, which has been the majority of my work throughout my tax career. And I want to add 3 points. I know there's a lot online and social media about the displaced workers, and I empathize, but I'm not going to touch any of that. I'm just going to focus on 3 points here. One is, first of all, that repeat, I think I said this in an earlier episode, all casework on all cases that I have been involved with stopped more than a month ago. In other words, we had deadline statutory dates for other legal provisions or case management orders. I completed the work. I always would follow up with an email, with a phone call. No response to anything. At first, I just thought, just not unusual for IRS people to not respond right away. But after I saw a pattern, so it appears to me, and this is just anecdotal from my experience, it appears to me that a significant number of IRS workers anticipated or worried about getting fired and slowed down their casework anyway. So it's not like the work stopped just today. It's been stopped for more than a month. That's my experience. That's the first point. The second point I want to make is that tax professionals, particularly tax resolution people that advertise, hire us and we'll settle your tax debt, the pennies on the dollar people. We joke about that, but they are worried and concerned. If you hire somebody today to settle the tax debt, there's a good chance that nothing will happen. You'll pay your money and nothing will happen. So in the past, up until now, taxpayers would hire professional, experienced tax attorneys and CPAs and EAs who were experienced in taking a tax problem and solving it. We would work as long as it took, whatever steps it took, whether through courts or through appeals or pleading with the officer, whatever we had to do to get it resolved. And the purpose of getting tax problems resolved is so that the taxpayer can go on with their lives, get a mortgage, sometimes to get married, relieve stress, settle an estate, settle tensions between siblings or with a spouse, and sometimes qualify for a loan for education purposes for a child, for example. So always the purpose of settling tax debt was to settle the tax debt first and then be able to move on. So as of today, I'm pointing out that the table is turned. Now our job, or at least my job as a financial advisor, as a big picture, holistic financial advisor, is to say, how do we get the mortgage? How do we get along with our siblings, our business partners? How do we get that business financing, even though the tax debt remains unresolved? I expect that I'll be having a lot more conversations with bankers. Earlier today, I offered to communicate with siblings in an estate settlement that is dragging out. And so rather than have the executor take the heat, I said, let me, authorize me to talk to them and I can take the heat. I can explain to them it's not your fault. It's just tax issues are just not going to get resolved anytime soon. And we can move on with our financial lives. We can exist successfully and thrive without the IRS. And so I guess that's the point I want to leave the broadcast today. Would love to hear if you have any thoughts, comments, or feedback. Either throw them into social media, or if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I welcome that, and that's easy to do. Find me at taxproblems.cpa. And I'll be back tomorrow with another tax